I hope you are well and good. Today, sit back and relax and open up your mind for an endless learning experiences. Today, we will make sure that you will enjoy and learn so much in this topic. So get your pen, paper, and your self-learning modules in bread and pastry production as we learn to understand the specific temperature in baking sponge and cakes. Bread and pastry production grade 9. At the end of this lesson, the student should be able to identify the specific temperatures and the correct oven setting used for a variety of sponge and cakes. Discuss the proper ways of using an oven. A specific temperature used for different types of sponge and cakes. Do you know what is this? Very good. It's an oven. Your oven is easily the most important variable in determining the outcome of your baking products. Baking at the right temperature is important not only for determining baking times but will also affect the final quality of your cakes. Temperature used for different types of cake and the oven temperature conversion table as your guide. At the first column, these are the types of cake. The second column, the temperature in Fahrenheit. The third column, the temperature in Celsius degree. And the fourth column is the minutes of cooking time. Oven temperature conversion table. Gas mark, degree Fahrenheit, degree Celsius, fan oven. Oven setting for cakes. Oven should be in solid heat, means that the oven should have stabilized within 150 to 180 degrees Celsius for 15 to 20 minutes before placing the cake. Use an oven thermometer to test the internal temperature and to test whether the cake is baked. Baking process is considered complete when the center of the cake reaches gelatinization. Skewer can also be used to test the cake if it's already baked. You can use toothpick in the absence of skewer. It should be inserted into the cake and must come out clean. Oven setting for sponge. Sponge cake will cook quicker in an oven temperature of 180 to 200 degrees Celsius because of its lighter density. Gelatinization and coagulation happen quickly, having less drying out of product. As you see, these are the example of oven knob. Tips in using the oven. It is important to know the oven you will use when you're going to bake a cake. Number 1. Always preheat the oven at the required temperature for at least 10 to 15 minutes before baking to make sure that the oven has reached the desired temperature when you place the baking pans. Number 2. Get an oven thermometer to make sure that the oven is calibrated properly. Placing it inside the oven will assure that the cake will not be underdone or overdone. Number 3. Always position the baking pan at the center of the oven. Placing the cake in the middle of the oven will prevent it from over-browning. Number 4. Always bake with both top and bottom heat, which allows the temperature to be evenly distributed to all the sides around the pan. Number 5. Rotate the pans during baking. Do this until the 2/3 of the way through baking time to prevent collapse. However, it should be noted that opening the oven at any point while baking will abruptly reduce the oven temperature, which may affect your cake. So if you must, do it as quickly as possible. Number 6. Darker pans transmit heat more quickly than those of lighter color. So if you use a darker baking pan, you should lower the temperature by 5 to 10 degrees Celsius from that indicated on the recipe. If you really mastered and understand our topic for today, let us answer our first activity. Read carefully the direction. Activity number 1. Matching type. Direction. Match the conversion temperature found in column A to its gas mark found in column B. Write the letter only on your paper. Column A. Number 1. 220 degrees Celsius. Number 2. 325 degrees Fahrenheit. Number 3. 275 degrees Fahrenheit. Number 4. 200 degrees Celsius. Number 5. 150 degrees Celsius. Activity number 2. Fill in the blanks. Direction. Write the correct words to complete the sentence in the proper use of an oven. Then explain it by answering the why question. Number 1. Placing the baking pan at the blank of the oven is very important. Always blank the oven at the required temperature for at least 10 to 15 minutes before baking. Number 3. You should lower the temperature by 510 degrees centigrade on the recipe if you are using black pan. Number 4. Always bake with both blank and blank heat. Number 5. It is important to get an blank and place it inside the oven while baking. Thank you for answering the question. To wrap up our lesson for today, you will be going to discuss and answer the following question on your paper. Number 1. What is the difference between the oven setting of cakes from sponge? Number 2. Why baking at right temperature is important? Number 3. How important is oven thermometer and why it is matter in baking? Number 4. Why do we need to rotate the pans during baking? And now, it's time to answer the pause test. Fill in the blanks. Direction. Fill in the blanks with correct word or words. Number 1. Always blank the oven at the required temperature for at least blank minutes before baking to make sure that the oven has reached the desired temperature when you place the baking pans. Number 2. Use unblank to test the internal temperature and to test whether the cake is baked. Number 3. In baking sponge cake, use a temperature of blank degrees Celsius for at least blank minutes. Number 4. Baking process is considered complete when the center of the cake reaches blank. Number 5. Always position the baking pan at the blank of the oven. And that's concluded our lesson for today. This is Ray Tommy saying until next time, thank you and take care.